Hey Yagaho guys, it is finally time to begin our Sun and Moon Gen 7 battling career with the Utah Jasmine and his Arcanine Battle Syndicate Week 1. ZBS is finally kicking off, and if you didn't watch the full draft video, you probably don't know my team because I didn't bother to do a, me personally, team breakdown, because my channel had the draft recap, so maybe you watched that or at least skip to the end. Anyway, so if you don't know my team, then you'll be surprised, maybe. But we are going up against the Melbourne Starmies. Now, StarmieGirl considers me to be her teacher because I apparently taught her everything she knows about Pokemon, which I guess rumor has it I'm the same way with Blah as well. We're going to see if the teacher can stay ahead of the student. That idiom usually goes the other way, but if we're going to win, then that's the way the idiom needs to go. Anyway, so because of the differences in how the battles are starting up now, this is like a different intro stuff we're going on here. We got some cards spinning around, and you will see my team right here. We'll talk about her team in a bit, I guess. Well, actually, no, we'll bring up what she has right now. So she has Shiinotic, Starmie, Alolan Muk, Minior, Umbreon, Stoutland, Arcanine, Palossand, Mimikyu, Milotic, and Electabuzz. So these are the guys we are bringing, not knowing what 6 she is going to bring. So we'll get to see those in a moment, and I guess I'll have that as like a mini segment on its own where I talk about like keys to the game. That's the plan anyway. Anyway, so we get these guys, I guess, in Mega Man game order is how we decided to go with it for this. And you'll notice lots of people are level 1. That's because Pokepelago is a really cool thing. So we have Heatman with an Assault Vest, Torkoal, because, you know, sets up Sun, Drought of course, and that means it's not really weak to water, and with Solar Beam it can actually kind of handle Starmie and Milotic, which is ridiculously crazy to think about. But I wanted some source of spin on the team. I know she isn't likely to bring Minior, because she said she didn't really want it, but just in case it is there, I don't want Stealth Rock hanging around when I've got, you know, a couple of guys who have initiative in the form of, well, 2 of the other guys there afterwards. Yeah, just Fire Blast, roast things, Solar Beam, roast things that aren't Fire Blast. I was supposed to have Earthquake on the thing, but then I realized that I had a 0 attack IV, and I said, whoops, so I threw Sludge Bomb on there. I threw Sludge Bomb on there to have some sort of a special backup attack. Next up we have Sparkman, Jolteon, who's got Volt Switch and T-Bolt, and Shadow Ball, because that conveniently enough hits her ground type, which is, obviously immune to electric. And I believe I threw Spell Tag on there because I was like, threw a dart at items. Spell Tag, sure. I didn't want Life Orb Recoil. Leftovers seemed a bit daft since I wasn't super bulky, and I didn't really think I would need the extra, although I probably should have had the extra magnet damage for Milotic, but we'll see if it comes or not. I would definitely have liked to have had Hidden Power Poison, because that would allow pretty much everyone on the team to handle Shiinotic very well and not have to worry about, getting scored or anything like that. But again, pre-banks, so I'm not really able to port in a Jolteon with HP Poison, nor breed one in a decent length of time with HP Poison. So that's Jolteon, probably going to be the lead for Volt Switch and all that good stuff. Next up we have the Slayer of Worlds, Slashman, the Archeops, because, Slashman stage is kind of like a prehistoric jungle, so that seems like it kind of fits with Archeops, I guess. We got a pretty standard Archeops set, though. No item acrobatics, which unfortunately you can see, it shows that there's no item there, but I think it's usually a safe assumption anyway that Archeops is going to have acrobatics. So the speed is just a little bit above, one above Electabuzz, and then a little bit into HP to, whatever. Edgequake U-turn, could have been Roost. It was probably between Roost or U-turn, or just Head Smash for some backup. Well, I need to hit this thing stupid hard. That was an option as well, but in the end I just decided to go with U-turn. Because hopefully we're going to be able to keep hazards off the field. Skarm is the next poke. Tengu Man is not really able to keep hazards off the field because of our format. It does not get Defog, so it also does not get Stealth Rock. But we do have Spikes. I'm a little leery of even running Spikes on it because every time it's in, I'm presuming she's going to bring Starmie, and I'm always going to be like, well, Starmie's going to come in. I'm not going to set up Spikes because she's going to come in and spin. But anyway, it's a pretty standard Scarm set, just Spikes, Whirlwind, Roost, and Brave Bird. Predominantly physically defensive because I want to make sure we can quell Mimikyu and, you know, wind it out, all that good stuff. So there's that. Miltank has the dumbest nickname I've ever given a member of my team. The only cow I could think of course, over the entire Mega Man series is in Misadventures of Tron Bonne. There's a mission where you abduct cows, and they're at a place called Sart Farm. So Miltank is Sart Farms, and the number will change every game. Thunder is going on outside. Jolteon coming through. That's some prolonged thunder. Goram. Sart Farms number 42 is impish but max Spadef because the natures worked out such that I think it was the same ended up stats. That's how you say that. Sure. If you go careful and still want to target that same amount of Spadef. So I figured, well, I'll probably run physically defensive more weeks, so let me just go ahead and breed an Impish one instead. I struggle between Scrappy and Sapsipper. Sapsipper is hilarious because it completely trolls Shiinotic, as it makes it immune to Strength Sap, which is its, you know, super awesome recovery move, as well as Spore. So it'll make it 100% switch into Shiinotic, but in the end I decided to go with Scrappy because I wanted to be able to just run one attack and be able to, you know, break Mimikyu's disguise. Because I also wanted to have Toxic, Heal Bell, and Milk Drink just to, you know, spread Toxic and keep my team from being toxic and not die. So good. Now she has two fairies, Shiinotic and Mimikyu, so you'd be crazy to bring kommo-o, right? Well, I'm crazy because I brought kommo-o. It's DD, no Dragon Stab because that's kind of pointless. We have Shadow Claw for Mimikyu, Sky Uppercut for mostly Umbreon, and EQ for Alolan Muk and other good stuffs. So there's that. And yeah, that is pretty much the team. So now we will look and see what she brought out of her 11, and it's going to be Shiinotic, Arcanine, Starmie, Palossand, Muk, and Mimikyu. So I was quite certain Mimikyu was coming, as you know, that's, well, you know, is not just resistant, is immune to both of kommo-o's stabs. So looks like we should be okay to lead off with Jolteon. If it is a immediate Palossand switch in, then I guess there's that, and I can go from there into somebody. I do have two flyers on the team who could come in and kind of threaten it, although neither would really be able to do much damage to it. So there's that. I may have to end up having like pivot into Torkoal if she leads off with Palossand, or gets it in there early. But I'm gonna be pretty okay just leading off with Jolteon. There's no reason to try to set up spikes really, or at least not stack them until Starmie is out of the way. Yeah, as far as switch-ins go, we've got Shiinotic, because my Miltank doesn't have Sapsipper, I guess we can just go into... well, it depends on if someone's gotten Spore yet or not. Someone's going to be doesn't have Sleep Fodder, so we'll have to figure that out at the time. I don't know what kind of Arcanine it's going to be, so we'll have to figure that out as well. Ideally, I would like to not get something burned. Probably Torkoal is going to be the designated switch in there to be immune to burn and has good physical defense. So, although that is going to suck if I set up Sun and then I get completely roasted by a fire attack because it's going to get double stabbed on that as well. So yeah, even though Scarm has hazards, I'm not going to be that intent on getting those, at least not getting them stacked until Starmie's, you know, done away with. So we'll see what kind of Starmie it is. If it's going to have Recover, that'll be certainly tougher to wear down. I do have only one thing that outspeeds it, but at least it does have super effective stab to it. And once Starmie's out of the way, hopefully Archeops can do pretty well. Definitely getting Mimikyu's disguise broken is going to be very important. I kind of only can really go for a setup with kommo-o one time, so as long as she keeps Mimikyu's disguise intact, then kommo-o can't do anything except come in and go for random hits. But I don't know, maybe he'll be able to use his innate bulk and switch into some things, and you know, get off some hits here or there and help set up someone else to sweep. So that has been our pregame here. We'll see how that goes, getting all stitched together, and we will jump into the game now. Alright, getting things underway. Really big fan, by the way, of the battle styles you can customize now. That's pretty sweet. If you're wondering why I'm the left-handed style,
We'll look at how I throw out the Pokeballs here in a second, and then compare that to how you throw out the Pokeballs in Gen 3 and 4, at least. I guess those are the first two gens that had animated throwing up balls. So, yeah, we're going to get started out here. And what you going to lead out with? So you're going to lead out with Alolan Muk, as we're going to lead out with Jolteon. I believe I'm just going to go ahead and click Volt Switch. I think also a thing that happens right here is she realizes that she brought a wrong move on Muk and had mentioned something about it, so that's why there's a little bit of lengthiness here. I was asking if she wanted to restart, but she said no, it was fine. So I'm certainly gonna Volt Switch. I guess if she went immediately into Palossand, that would kind of be a problem, but she does not. So Volt Switch does a pretty decent amount, which tells me it's probably not Assault Vest. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be going into Skarm, as I'm just gonna expect that she's gonna stay in. She's probably just gonna knock off whatever is gonna come in. By the way, it's really jarring how Alolan Muk, like, sometimes the thing moves and sometimes it doesn't. Like, I'm pretty sure that's just a 3DS limitation of not slowing the game down too much, but it's really freaking weird. Anyway, I go into Skarm after chatting with her about that issue for a little bit, and takes under half, gets that leftovers knocked off. Alolan Muk is actually rather strong. But I am able to, of course, roost that off at some point. The question is, do we want to set up spikes? It would be nice to set up spikes because I'm, going to be taking very minimal damage from the thing now. Now that I got my leftovers knocked off, because it's reduced in power. But at the same time, if I set up spikes, Starmie can just come right in and you have to leave now. And I have to either leave or risk a not sturdy intact Skarmory on a T-Bolt or something, or she could just, spin, but then, like, I'm not gaining too much for staying in. So in the end, I just decided to click Brave Bird in case Starmie comes in, and I know we'll live the hit anyway, so it does a pretty decent amount, gets it down to about a third, but she is getting black, or I guess now it's up closer to half. Gets Black Sledge recovery, and also puts a taunt on me, so now I'm stuck using Brave Bird, and at this range of HP, I still would like to keep Skarm around because it's kind of my Mimikyu insurance. Right now I can probably still switch in and take either, like, I might be able to take 2 Shadow Claws, or a, plus 2 Shadow Claws, the case may be, and start roosting up and, doing stuff, although with Swords Dance, that's gonna start getting, a bit risky. But anyway, we're gonna switch out here and go into kommo-o, as I don't think she's gonna knock off, it's gonna be like Crunch, if anything, and I'll resist that. So, I went up the double switch, however, and, it goes into Arcanine. So I don't want to get kommo-o burned, because it's all physical this week, so I don't want to get it burned. I do have Earthquake, but I'm intimidated, and that's going to do, if it's a defensive Arcanine, it's going to do, like, maybe a third, even though I'm adamant max attack, because kommo-o does not have, like, Dragonite and Mince tier attack. It's got more of those stats into bulk. So, we go into somebody else here, and I think we're just going to go into Torkoal in case it's going to be a Will-O-Wisp. That's going to be most detrimental to most people on the team, so gonna go into Torkoal, and she is going to come out after we get the drought off with a close combat, and that is choice band damage because Torkoal has 140 base defense. I think it actually has the same physical defense as Skarmory in terms of base stats. Obviously the typing is not the same, it doesn't have Roost. We got the sun up, so yeah, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be locked into CC, and I feel like she probably won't stay in it. I was also glad to see that it was not Flash Fire, so that means I'm free to fire off Fire Blasts willy-nilly however I want. If I had Earthquake, I probably still wouldn't go for it, but because I think Fire Blast may actually deal more. It was just there in case it was a Flash Fire Arcanine. And then I think I decided to click Sludge Bomb just because I don't want Fire Blast to miss, and I just want a little bit of damage on here so that other stuff can be able to take it out. Unfortunately, she sends in Palossand, and yeah, that didn't take very much whatsoever. But I do kind of get redeemed for, if I had picked Fire Blast or Solar Beam, I probably wouldn't be picking Solar Beam, but if I picked Fire Blast, that turned into an easy 2-hit KO, so the poison kind of makes up for me not picking the correct move on that turn. So I do have Solar Beam, and I don't really want to switch anyone into this, so I'm just going to click Solar Beam. I am Assault Vest, so there's that. I do outspeed it because I did have the speed investment in there to outspeed it, and I didn't expect it to KO, and indeed it did not. But she does expect me to go to somewhere else, like a Skarm or something, and go for Shadow Ball, which I'm able to chew on, so nice. At this point, Torkoal is probably just going to die to any one hit, so that got in here to get something faster, so I may as well go ahead and go for a hit. Certainly Solar Beam would finish this thing off, but I want to make sure just in case she switches and preserves it, not that it's going to be able to tank much more, going on. I'm just going to click Fire Blast, Arcanine comes in, and that's definitely good. I did not go for Solar Beam. We're going to see how much this Fire Blast does resist that hit, and that's it over half. It was a crit, but it still did over half. That's, And that's not even a boosting item either. If that was Life Orb, that would have knocked it down in the wreck, good grief. But then again, if it was Life Orb, I'd probably... yeah, I would have been dead already if it was Life Orb. Or I would have died on that Life Orb hit. But I'm just going to sack off Torkoal to a close combat, and then I'll be able to come in with probably Jolteon, because now at that point, because Palossand is weakened, I can just kill it with the Shadow Ball and not have to worry about it. So her Electric Immune is now, just going to get killed, so cool. So in comes Jolteon, and I think I actually flip out a bit here and forget that close combat lowered the Spadef. I was like, oh, wait a minute, is Volt Switch gonna kill? Do I need to go for T-Bolt? Or some thought process, and then at some point I realized, wait a minute, she killed me with close combat, therefore I can just kill it with whatever move. Well, probably not Shadow Ball, but the only reason I would need to go for Shadow Ball would be if Palossand comes in, and if it does, then I just outspeed it and kill it next turn, so whatever. What do I go for? I think I go for T-Bolt. I think I go for T-Bolt, because I'd rather just have Jolteon in. If I can, so it takes a T-Bolt and obviously nullifies it, but we're just gonna quickly click Shadow Ball. Hey, look at that, it took under 10 seconds for a turn, how about that? So Palossand goes down, and I guess that means the Poison proc wasn't really that relevant because of the way it went down. Oh, Weakender's emote strips! Emote strips are back, by the way, guys. I don't get to use too many of them in this game due to stuff that happens later, but emote strips are back. They will be coming back for Gen 7 games. I'm very pleased to announce the return of that. Only a quick one there, though, as she was sending out Shiinotic, which, again, I wish I had HP Poison for, but I don't. It wouldn't kill from full, I don't think, anyway. So I'm just going to put a Wish in the air and let Jolteon go to sleep, which might be a mistake, but I would kind of like to get Skarmory back up to a usable range of hit points, and, going ahead and letting Jolteon go to sleep. I like how it actually has the bubble pop up that you have a Wish in the air. I'm just going to go ahead and switch into Skarm. It'll give Skarm back probably roughly the same amount of hit points, little under half. Jolteon's got, what, 149 right there? Put a little bit of HP investment just to speed creep down to Starmie. And yeah, Skarm's got a little bit more, meaning the special attack drop as we do get back up to a, pretty decent range of hit points. Covers the Moonblast damage and then some, certainly. And here, once again, I think we are just going to go in for a Brave Bird, because there's no reason to set up spikes when she has a Starmie over there, which makes me question why I even brought spikes to begin with, but I guess if Starmie happens to go down, I can start setting up spikes. So this time Starmie does come in, and we're just going to Brave Bird it, and does a clean half. I'm pretty okay with that. I don't know what kind of Starmie it's going to be, if it's something like a Specs or, Life Orb offensive, maybe it doesn't have Recover. If it was a Makar type Starmie, it would definitely have Rapid Spin and Recover. So, where do I want to go for here? Where do I go from here? I certainly don't want to stay in, as, we don't have Sturdy intact, and this is not a Spadef Skarm whatsoever. So, we're going to get out here. We already sacked off Torkoal. I think we go into... No, I don't go into kommo-o. I think I go into the cow. Yeah, I believe I go into Miltank. It takes me a while to decide. I go into Miltank, as I think, well, hopefully she doesn't go for water, because I would actually take quite a bit from that, but I should be able to, being max Spadef, take a T-Bolt. So she ends up to reveal Recover, and that lets me know that it's going to be not the most effective thing in the world to just Brave Bird the Starmie down. So first things first, though, I want to get Jolteon woken up. I kind of realize now that I kind of really need Jolteon to deal with Starmie, so priority one is getting that thing woken up, even if it costs me my Miltank. And it goes into this, which I don't really want to get Miltank knocked off. I could stay in and do what? No, I couldn't really stay in. I could hit it with Return. I guess I'm calculating to see how much Return's going to do. Return would probably 2-hit KO from here, but that's not really worth to me losing leftovers on Miltank just yet, when I can still just go into Skarm. And if it ends up to be I go into Skarm, she goes back into Starmie. Well, at least in this cycle, I got my Jolteon woken up, so that's all well and good. So here I decide, at some point, I want that Starmie to be forced to spin, as it could, provide me a turn to maybe go into Jolteon for free and threaten it, or, do something. Muk's starting to get worn down. That's her most resilient thing on this, well, actually, Mushroom thing. Muk and Shiinotic are still pretty stout on the special side to switch into Jolteon, so I believe I actually set up a layer of spikes here, which is not so much for, oh man, I want to keep this layer of spikes up, it's more for, I want that Starmie to be forced to go for Rapid Spin. So I'm expecting she would just taunt here, but she just knocks off, and Muk is starting to get back up to a lot of life. So, if she knocks off again, then I'm probably dead. I could go ahead and Roost. I could do that, since she did not apply a taunt. But I think I just decided to go in for Brave Bird, which is basically sacrificing Skarm, which kind of sucks because Mimikyu, but I guess if I can keep spikes up, that makes me a little more okay with, I can break the disguise and then kommo-o can kill it with a D. I don't know. Sacking Skarm is always a awful thing to do, but at this point it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to get any momentum going on. And Starmie's just too big a threat, so I decided to get a lot of damage on Muk to the point that other stuff can KO it. And I'm just going to go ahead and sack off Skarm, which will give me the chance to go into the best offensive piece I have on this team, against her team certainly, which is Archeops, which has Earthquake, which is super effective quite a bit of her team actually. She didn't bring Minior, so I guess that helps, which because Minior after the shield's down does outspeed and is immune to Earthquake. So even though we do have Stone Edge, so we easily take out Muk, which I'm pretty sure that EQ would have KO'd even without the help from Skarm's Brave Bird, but I kind of needed the Death Fighter for initiative to go into Archeops. I also calculated to see if Archeops, having no item, could take a knockoff and take under 50%. It could not. So here is where I make one of the dumbest plays I've ever made in my career. I'm thinking about who to go to here. I don't want to stay in because Starmie, of course, does outspeed Archeops. And I think I'm going to go into Jolteon, which is very, very risky, because if she's got Hydro Pump, I don't think I've seen an item yet. If she's got Hydro Pump, she can probably KO Jolteon from full, and I kind of need Jolteon to beat Starmie. So I decide, mulling it, yeah, okay, I guess I'll go into Jolteon. So I click go into Jolteon, and then she spins before I switch, and I'm like, wait, what? And I timed out, and I hit a Stone Edge, and I was completely flabbergasted until I realized that I timed out. She clicked Rapid Spin, so she didn't kill my, primary offensive win condition here in the form of Archeops, and okay. Okay. Let's make stupid plays and have them completely work out in my favor. That seems right. Anyway, so Arcanine's here, but I can still KO it. I think I can still KO with Earthquake because Archeops just has that much attack power. And we've seen it CB, so that means it's also based on the damage it took from the Torkoal Fire Blast. I can tell it's not going to be, at least not overly bulky, of an Arcanine. So Shiinotic does want to come in to resist the EQ, but at -1 I can still kill it with an Acrobatics. I think she misplayed here and thought for some reason Archeops was at -2 after the baffling play where I stayed in on a Starmie with an Archeops. Clearly I was predicting Rapid Spin. No, I was absolutely not predicting Rapid Spin. I'm dead. No, I'm not dead. Starmie's dead, so I Acrobatics and kill the Shiinotic. And that's nice because that's another thing that can kind of come in and stop Jolteon. So at this point Jolteon's looking like it's going to have an okay time. We only have Arcanine and Mimikyu, which she is very much kept preserved left. She's got still got Disguise intact, and I believe it ends up to be Focus Sash as well, which is why she needed to get that spin-off with Starmie to preserve Mimikyu's Focus Sash. So here at -2, I could probably KO it with Stone Edge, but at this point I feel like I've kind of got it in the bag. I don't want to risk it, so I'm just going to go into Bola here, who actually takes a Wild Charge, and that's resisted, and I know it's CB, so I know it's locked in. But I also know it's pointless to Dragon Dance up because she's got, Mimikyu. So I'm just going to go right in for Earthquake and at least break the Disguise or kill the Arcanine, which is exactly what happens. And that's really all I needed Bola to do. Now that the Disguise is broken, I've got Shadow Ball and Jolteon. I don't know in-game that it's Focus Sash, but I've got Shadow Ball and Jolteon. I can probably, manage 2 hits here or there. Miltank is still, even though it's not, that's actually a crit, and that's not even just a max HP, no, I guess 4 defense invested Miltank still takes under half from a crit. So really all I need to do here is just hit it once with return, and then I'm pretty sure that I can knock it out from there with a Shadow Ball from Jolteon. I do have Spell Tag boosting the damage a little bit, and that probably is... Mimikyu actually has decent Spadef, so I'm pretty sure it would not KO from full with Shadow Ball, but we do end up to survive the +2's Play Rough with a little bit of HP, get some more damage on there, don't knock it out, but then she misses a Play Rough, which is, at this point, I don't think it really mattered. What probably should have happened there is Miltank goes down, Jolteon comes in, lives a Shadow Sneak, kills it. Arcanine comes in, has CB Extreme Speed to finish Jolteon off, and then Archeops is able to come in and pick up the last KO. Instead, it's just Arcanine who gets the KO on Miltank here. Kind of has to go for CB Extreme Speed because, you know, I have things that outspeed Arcanine. But at the same time, I've also got Archeops who resists Extreme Speed, so it was kind of a no-win situation there. The game was pretty much... It was kind of over as soon as I had the dumb play where Starmie went down and Archeops stayed up, so that was rather silly, but that's how it happens, and we get our first win of the ZBS 3-0. Alright, so good game to Starmies. She doesn't upload, so there's no, like, channel for you guys to go and show anything, really. But Starmies is awesome, so that's good. She did not have very much confidence coming in, but I think if I hadn't had the play with Archeops, or I messed up, could have been, yeah, if she had just killed Archeops there, it would have been very close. Maybe I could have come back from it, but I'm not really going to bother theory modding it, at least not right now. But yeah, this video has been very new and experimental, and the microphone quality has been extremely poor, so I apologize for that. Hopefully by the next week, I will have found a replacement mic, because this one is, at this point, going on, I've had it since, what, 2009? Thereabout? No. Yes. Yeah, sometime in 2009. Probably need to upgrade that, so sometime in February I'll probably grab a new mic, and then it'll not be as bad. This mic is the mic I used in the intro segment was actually me narrating on my phone, so we'll see which one was better, but hopefully it won't matter, because I'll just have a new one. Anyway, so we'll move on to Pokemon of the game. Also, there were no stat pop-ups this video. Hopefully those will be coming back. Just kind of trying to see how I'm going to do things, because the layout of the battles is different now, and consequently I'm changing some things with my layout. So anyway, we'll hopefully get it finalized by about week 3. But yeah, so Pokemon of the game, sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's pretty obvious because the stats don't lie, and this week is kind of the latter, because yeah, Archeops tore a chunky hole through the opposition this week. When Starmie went down, which I would not have expected that the thing that would kill Starmie was going to be Archeops. I was expecting maybe Torkoal would, you know, taking a hit with the AV and not being weak to water and solar beaming it, or else, you know, just Jolteon outspeeding and T-bolting it, or maybe, you know, kommo-o with a Dragon Dance. As it turned out, I think her Starmie only had its Spin, Recover, I think it was Surf, not Hydro Pump, and T-Bolt. So actually kommo-o could have stayed in there and been fine against the Dragon Dance stuff and hit it with Shadow Claw. So that would have been fine, which was awkward for another reason, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I would not have expected Archeops to take out Starmie, and then it proceeded to take out 3 other things as well over the course of the game, just being a great, you know, instant offense guy with no held item required, because -1 it still kills stuff. So it's good, solid. It's Mr. Irrelevant, already making an impact on the team. So I guess that pretty much wraps it up. Still can't believe I timed out and it worked out. And on balance, I really should have missed that Stone Edge. That would have been fair to make up for my blunder. But oh well, I guess it worked out anyway. Especially since I probably could have killed the Arcanine with any of the other moves, right? Or the Starmie. Like yeah, obviously if I had wanted to stay in, I would have clicked Acrobatics because that's stronger. And doesn't have a chance to miss, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, move on to next week. Next week in week 2, we have the Seattle Primarinas, coached by Goddess Maria. She does have a channel. I'm not sure if she uploaded this week's game or not. This has been week 1, and some people are still struggling to get stuff done on time, so that's why not all the videos are going to be up. Hopefully starting week 2, we'll have everything up on the proper times, but so I think some people had to play on Showdown this week because of various reasons with deadlines and whatnot, and in fact me and Starmie kind of played late, that's why this is kind of up late, but yeah, hopefully we'll have everything going good on time moving forward. Bank, is, as of this recording, is still not out for Sun and Moon. Not that it affects our format, it just would be nice to have our you know, our proper dittos and whatnot in the game already, so maybe that'll be out before next week as well. And yeah, hopefully next video we'll have some more bells and whistles, the microphone will be a little bit better, and stuff will just be good, and hopefully we'll be able to start out 2-0, maybe? I think we're solid 3-0 the first week. I'm pretty okay with that, so looking forward to next week against Maria. The terror that is Cast Form is coming our way, I'm afraid. And we may end up having a weather war with Torkoal and Alolan Ninetales, so that could be some fun stuff to look forward to. See you guys then. Later days.